Okay. To the participants from North and South America, good afternoon to the participants from Europe and Africa, good evening Middle East, and good evening to the participants from Asia. Welcome to the live webinar to kick off the global consultation on the future priorities of the global evaluation community. Please. So we have myself, the co-chair of Eval Partners. We have Deborah Rugg, who is the UNEG chair, and Rob Vanderberg, who is the president of IDEAS. And most importantly, we have all of you, and we really hope that we will be able to have a discussion, live discussion, to be able to kick off the online discussion that will last for 8 weeks. Next slide. Marco Segone, as I said, I'm the co-chair of Eval Partners. I'm also vice chair of UNEG and also the director of the Independent Evaluation Office at UN Women. Next. Partner is a global partnership with more than 50 organizations, co-chaired by IOC, that is the International Organization for Cooperation in Evaluation. She's the World Federation of international and national evaluation associations from all over the world. You mute all the other mics to avoid the echoes and sounds and etc. And you give the mic only to the person who is presenting at that moment. And so co-chaired by IOC and also by UN Women. Eval Partner is a global partnership with all the regional evaluation associations, with the UN agencies, including UNEG, UNICEF, UN Women, UNDP, government from the north, like the government of the US, Switzerland, Spain, Finland, but also government from the south, Mexico, and Sri Lanka, private foundations, and NGOs. Next slide. Briefly, the key achievement of Eval Partners. So Eval Partners is operating based on a conceptual framework that looks at strengthening national evaluation capacities for evaluation in a systemic manner. That means that it looks at strengthening individual capacities as well as institutional capacities and the enabling environment. When it comes to the individual capacities, Eval Partner is managing MyMNE website, and it reached 2.5 million visitors, on a series of e-learning and on development evaluation, and about 20,000 people from 178 countries registered as of now. An institutional capacity of VOPES. VOPES means Voluntary Organization for Professional Evaluation, the Evaluation Association. Mainly peer-to-peer mutual support programs. So far, we had 25 projects supporting 31 national and 6 regional VOPES, but also stimulating innovation through the Innovation Challenge. So far, Eval Partner had 1 round of Innovation Challenge with 21 proposals received and 5 selected. And also tries to the environment for evaluation, mainly through advocating for evaluation in policy making, and that's why Eval Partner came up with an advocacy strategy at global level but also develop an advocacy toolkit for each country to come up with its own advocacy strategy based on the local context. So supported the creation of parliamentarian forum for development evaluation in South Asia, Africa, and Arab states. One of the most influential initiatives is the declaration of 2015 International Year of Evaluation. It was declared by in Brazil last year, but as of now, several organizations and several countries already declared 2015 as the International Year of Evaluation. This is also advocating for the development and the strengthening of national evaluation policies to be able to institutionalize evaluation in each country. The key achievement is that Eval Partner is a growing and diverse global community working as a flexible network movement, meaning that is trying to connect local evaluation communities with a global evaluation community. We bring the 150 national evaluation associations all over the world with a global player such as UN agencies, multilateral banks, etc. An international movement that brings together different organizations, enhancing the strengths and capacity of each organization and valuing the diversity of each organization. So it gives me my pleasure to introduce Deborah Rugg, who is the UNEG chair, briefly talk about UNEG. So Deborah, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Marco, and happy to be here, and welcome to everyone who's joining. Just a few words about UNEG and what it is for those who may not be as familiar. UNEG is a unique interagency professional network in the UN that aims to advance the effectiveness, efficiency, impact, and sustainability of the UN system's work by promoting and strengthening evaluation. UNEG brings together units from across the UN system, including departments, specialized agencies, funds and programs, and affiliated organizations. It currently has 45 such members and 3 observers.
Next slide, Xenia, please move the slide. Thank you.
Specific mission is to promote the independence, credibility, and usefulness of the evaluation function across the entire UN system. Secondly, its mission is to advocate for the importance of evaluation for learning, for decision-making, and for accountability, to support the evaluation community in the UN system and beyond. It advances the professionalization of evaluation within the UN system and promotes adherence to norms and standards. Specifically, it focuses on the development of UNEG norms and standards, which we will be updating in the future. Prepares guidance documents across topics that are relevant to its members, and professional competency framework for evaluators in the UN system. Secondly, it focuses on facilitating learning and the exchange of knowledge and evaluation practices. And third, the joint work with OECD Eval Network on peer reviews for its members. It's recently undergone an independent review, and from that review and in response has endeavored to enhance UNEG functions. We have developed a theory of change that has led to new strategic objectives for UNEG, which are as follows. The first strategic area seeks to enhance evaluation functions and products of UN entities so that they better meet the UNEG norms and standards for evaluation. Second, our strategic objective focuses on the UN entities and partners actually using more evaluation in support of accountability and program learning. Third, our third strategic objective focuses on informing the UN system-wide initiatives and emerging demands so that we become a stronger player on the global level, influencing evaluation issues at the highest level of the UN system. And fourth, UNEG seeks to benefit from and contribute to an enhanced global evaluation profession by participating with our colleagues here in eval partners and others around the world. Summary of UNEG at this point.
I'm really glad that you joined us today for this webinar. And now I would like to introduce Rob Vanderberg, who is the newly elected president of IDEA. So, Rob, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jimmy. Yeah.
We can hear and see you.
Okay, wonderful, great. I'm very happy to be in this webinar. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody. It's really interesting that this is a global webinar reaching out to all the parts in the world. And this is exactly what IDEAS also does. Like eval partners, IDEAS is a global association, and it's actually the only professional evaluation association for individual members with a global reach. Established in 2002 in Beijing, China, and so it's relatively young, but we have a track record that we can look back on. Our mission is to advance the practice of development evaluation by refining methods, strengthening capacity, and expanding ownership. Particular focus on developing and transitional economies. But everybody who is involved in evaluation on these issues and on development in the wider sense, welcome in IDEAS, and we discuss a huge range of issues from environmental to human rights and so on. So next slide. As I said, IDEAS is a global forum for members to discuss issues that are relevant to development evaluation. So we see ourselves as a possibility for knowledge exchange on these issues. And we have, as a main instrument, we've had so far the global assemblies, which are held every 2 years, and they are held throughout the world. So we've had ones in Asia, in Africa, and in the Caribbean. Important, but our other work that is more ongoing has to do with professional norms and standards for development evaluation. Currently, we are working on what we call qualification of evaluators. So how can we make sure that we have the tools and methods and the qualifications to be a good evaluator? And it's important that we look at possibilities for international standards on this. We have a relatively new board at the moment and lots of new activities that are starting up. We want to upgrade our website for it to become more interactive and work on knowledge exchange and mentoring and so on. The focus that we have is very much towards the future. How will we be able to deal with development issues in evaluation in the coming decades? And for this reason, I'm very happy to be part of this webinar, and IDEAS is very happy to interact on this global consultation. So,
also for you for being with us today, and also for having IDEAS engaged in this global consultation. Let's start with the actual webinar. So our journey together in the next, don't be afraid, there is not 30 minutes. I hope it will be only 20 minutes. Is the one that we'll see in the overview. So first of all, very briefly, we will talk about the work that we have versus the work that we would like to have. About the challenge for the evaluation community, and third, we will talk about the best way forward. So, the world that we have versus the world that we would like to have. Next slide. Unfortunately, the world that we have is a world of a massive concentration of wealth. 40% of the world wealth is owned by the richest 1% of the population, while the poorest half own only 1% of the world wealth. The three richest people own wealth equivalent to the combined GDP of the world's poorest 48 countries. So clearly, is a world of significant inequities when it comes to wealth and income richness. Next slide. If we look at the social development, we see that social development is an unfinished business. Out of the 5 billion people in developing countries, half of them live on $2 per day or less. Almost 1 billion people are still malnourished, meaning that they suffer hunger. 1 billion people. As bullet point, 1 in 3 women and girls will be beaten, raped, abused, or mutilated in their lifetime. Personally, I was not believing to this. I mean, I believe just because it's an official statistics. I mean, 1 in 3 women and girls will be beaten, raped, abused, or mutilated in their lifetime. Definitely, I hope you will agree with me that that's not the world that we want. The world that we want is a world where there is equitable development. Next slide. Where we have all rights for all human beings everywhere at any time. How can we reach this? How can we reach a situation where all human beings have all rights for everywhere at any time? Prioritizing the most disadvantaged. Next slide. For a situation where the old guy would say, for a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. It is really to avoid a situation where we treat everybody in the same manner. Right? Everybody to enjoy the same rights, we have to be aware that different population groups are in different situations. So on the left side of your screen, you see that if we treat everybody in manner, so if we give 1 box to everybody, there will be the most advantaged, in this case, the tall guy, who will be able to watch the match, while the disadvantaged, in this case, the short guy, will nothing. So, and that's on the image on the right side. If we want to make sure that all of them enjoy the same right to watch the game, to prioritize the most disadvantaged. We need to give more resources to the most disadvantaged. In this case, we need to give 2 boxes, short guy, and maybe no boxes to the tallest. So, and that's the idea of equity. So equity is a strategy to achieve equality, to ensure that everybody can enjoy the same right. Now, is that several countries are recognizing the importance of equitable development. And the development community is doing so. So equitable development and gender equality more and more mainstream, not only in national development strategies, whatever names they take in your own country, can be poverty reduction strategy, development strategy, etc. Recognized as a key element also in the future sustainable development goals. Very likely that social equity and gender equality will be mainstream, but in case of gender equality, it's very likely that it will be also a standalone goal. is that the international community is recognizing the importance of equitable development, but a challenge community. Next slide. And evaluate equitable development intervention. Evaluation questions to assess intervention are relevant, having an impact in decreasing inequities and achieving equitable results. What are methodological, political, social, and financial implications in designing and managing equity and gender-responsive evaluation? And capacities to evaluate the capacity of government, civil society organizations, and communities can be strengthened. All challenges tackled in a systematic approach. Next slide. And that means that we should have a conceptual framework that looks both at an individual level, so to strengthen the capacities of individuals, institutional levels, strengthen the capacity of organizations and institutions to and manage good quality evaluation, but also enabling environment, and that's mainly through having national evaluation policies that set clear criteria and roles and responsibilities and budget evaluation system. Also, a systemic approach that will look not only at the supply side and means the capacities of the evaluation community to conduct technically rigorous evaluations, but to look also at the demand side, the capacities of policy makers, demand and use for evaluation. And our partner has been engaging parliamentarians, because parliamentarians, for example, very well placed and positioned to demand for a strong national evaluation system and to use the evidence to use by evaluation in while legislating in the parliament. And equity-focused and gender-responsive evaluation systems should be mainstream in the conceptual framework. And that this is no single agency, no single organization can do it alone, no matter how strong or how rich it is. So, be in partnership. Next slide. The Eval Partner was created. As I already mentioned, Eval Partner is a global partnership that brings together very different stakeholders, including UNEG and including ideas, and to leverage the strengths of each individual partner. And it's just bringing together all these stakeholders working together for a common objective that we think that it will be possible to meet and to address the future challenge of the evaluation community. Now, one way of strengthening the demand evaluation was declaring 2015 as the International Year of Evaluation. Because the evaluation community has been failing in reaching out the policymakers, in reaching out those who are not technical evaluators. Slide. 2015, the International Year of Evaluation, has the objective to raise the importance of evaluation not only among the evaluation community, but perhaps most importantly with the policymakers. And for this, I would like to invite Deborah Rugg to talk a little bit more about the International Year of Evaluation in general, and perhaps also about what's happening, what's going on at the at the United Nations General Assembly. So, Deborah, the floor is yours.
Please. The International Year of Evaluation has been endorsed by the UN Evaluation Group, and we have decided to try to raise the attention of evaluation to the highest levels of the member states in the UN. So we have been spending the last year advocating and promoting evaluation and trying to enhance the demand for evaluation by member states across the world, here represented in the UN General Assembly in New York. We are working hard to see that there is a new evaluation resolution that will focus on strengthening evaluation capacity at the country level, that will focus on countries owning evaluation for program improvements, program learning, and accountability. And those issues are currently being discussed, and we will know more as we enter into this session's General Assembly this fall. But we're very encouraged so far by the breadth of member states who have been interested in this initiative from all regions, I might add. We've got champions now from across the various regions of the world, especially countries from the G7, very much starting to champion the role of evaluation as a country-owned tool for a better world in the post-2015 or SDG development arena. So we're seeking to have a positive policy impact and to enhance the enabling environment at the highest levels in the UN, and hoping this will translate into action at the country level where there is a coordinated, better response for building evaluation capacity. Over to you, Marco.
So thanks a lot, Deborah. So why 2015? Mainly is because, as you know, in 2015, the Millennium Development Goals will come to an end, and they will be replaced by a new round of international goals that probably will be called Sustainable Development Goals. So the idea is that evaluation should be mainstream in the future Sustainable Development Goals as well as in national development policies. As you may know, the actual Millennium Development Goals are quite strong when it comes to track goals, when it comes to tell us if we are achieving them or not. But evaluation is not really mainstream. So the idea of declaring 2015 as the International Year of Evaluation is really to try to influence also the design of the future Sustainable Development Goals in making sure that evaluation will be mainstream. Next slide. Eval Partner is a local community, bringing together global initiatives with local ones. At global level, as Deborah already mentioned, mainly UNEG is working to try to get the UN General Assembly to get a resolution, an official resolution. UNEG has also been organizing high-level events with both high-level UN officers, but also with member states, civil society, parliamentarians, etc. Level, the International Year of Evaluation was declared at the National Evaluation Capacity Conference in Brazil last year. As of now, there are 32 evaluation associations all over the world that officially declare the International Year of Evaluation, 32 both national as well as regional evaluation association, and many more will come in this year and next year. The EvalNet network also endorsed the International Year of Evaluation, Italian Forum in South Asia and Africa. And as a matter of fact, logo of the Eval Year, of the International Year of Evaluation, has been translated and is being used in 23 different languages. is happening with the information evaluation, and a lot of expectation has been raised. Now the challenge for the community, for the international evaluation community, is how to address those expectations that we are raising with the international year evaluation, both at global and local level. We are launching this idea of a global evaluation agenda for 2016-2020 to try to be as inclusive as possible. This next slide, to make sure that the global agenda, the future global priorities for the evaluation community will be relevant to each of us, regardless of the organization where we work or the country where we work. And for this, we invite Rob a little bit more about the global evaluation agenda and the consultation process. So Rob, the floor is yours.
Thanks very much. And yes, indeed, the challenge is that we, as a community, input into the International Year of Evaluation on some crucial issues that we need to face. So next slide. Evaluation Agenda 2016-2020. Next slide. The online consultation will now be kicked off through this webinar, and we will have 8 weeks of online discussion, 2 weeks for each of the 4 questions that we will pose. And there will be additional web-based or face-to-face consultations organized by different stakeholders with their own constituency, which can also provide an input. Next slide, please. Again, we come back to this slide that Marco showed earlier, where we could see the context, and then we will focus on 4 questions in these global consultations. So next slide. The question is focused on the role of governments and parliaments, and asks how they can improve policy making and implementation by demanding and using equity focused and gender responsive evaluation and decision making. And the focus will be on whether we can identify the 3 most important strategies that we could provide as an input into the International Year of Evaluation. So on question 2, the focus shifts from the governments and parliaments to civil society organizations in general, and voluntary organizations for professional evaluations in particular. And this question will be facilitated by IUCE. The first one, I should have mentioned, would be facilitated by UNEG. We also play a role as co-organizers of this consultation in facilitating these questions. Third question, which will be facilitated by ideas. Goes to the individual level. We've had the government, we've had parliament, we've had civil society organizations and professional associations. And now, what do we need to have at the individual level? How can we have the capability to produce good quality, context relevant, equity focused, and gender responsive evaluation in the coming decade? On to the 4th question. And EVAL partners will facilitate this question, which is both the enabling environment, the institutional capacities and individual capabilities, and how they could potentially mutually reinforce each other. And how can we ensure that the very diverse multi-stakeholders work in partnership on their own value added and comparative advantages? This pose quite a challenge, but they offer an opportunity, next slide, to enter into the global evaluation agenda for equitable development and be a partner in this discussion. Marco, over to you for the Q&A. Why don't you host or chair the Q&A session?
Okay, thank you very much, Rob. So now it's time to open up the floor, and we really would like to hear your first reactions. I mean, as Rob said, I mean, this will be a quite extensive consultation that will last for 8 weeks, so 2 months. So this webinar is just an opportunity to kick off the discussion. And really, for you, if you have comments, questions, perhaps on about partner, UNEG and ideas, but I would say rather than on this, perhaps more if you have questions about the international year of evaluation, about the global consultation, about the global evaluation agenda, related issues that you would like to discuss. Shai, that's your turn to speak. Do either by speaking using the mic. To do that, you should raise your hand. We will enable your mic. To raise your hand, you get the video. Then there is the list of participants, and below the list of participants, there is a small window, raise hand. So you just have to click there. And once you have raised your hand, then we will give you the mic to speak. If you don't have a mic, or if you prefer to write, you can use the chat. Write your comment or question in the chat, and we can just read it. Don't be shy. And then raise your hand or write in the chat. Open to any of you who would like to in the discussion. So, the one question: will you be sharing the slides with the group afterwards? Yes. We are recording from Nisrin Abu Rad. The entire webinar is being recorded, so the recording plus the presentation will be uploaded in the website, and it will be also sent to you by email, but that will take a few days. But yes, that will be. So, you can comment, raise your hand, or write in the chat. So, from Megan Kennedy, and I already apologize in advance for the wrong pronunciation of your name and surname. Forgive me. And she's asking, outcome of the consultation look like? An evaluation agenda, will it include aspects of what and how to evaluate? Some of the consultation, in that Megan is from the OECD DAC EvalNet. For those who are not aware, OECD DAC EvalNet is the network of evaluation offices, countries from OECD that mainly are from the West, let's say. So the outcome of the consultation is that after these 8 weeks of online consultation, there will be a brief report that will be produced with the key outcomes that will be shared widely. Also inform additional consultation within several organizations. All ideas may want to decide that they want to further explore a particular issue, for example, UNEG, or the same for the OECD DAC EvalNet. hope that the report with the outcome of the global consultation will inform more in-depth consultation in different organizations and also different countries. The global evaluation agenda will be officially launched in 2015 at the second Eval Partner Global Evaluation event that will be organized more or less in mid-2015. Representatives from National Evaluation Association, from government, from NGOs, from private foundations, UN agencies, etc. They will all be invited, and so the global evaluation agenda will be officially launched and formalized next year during the official celebration of the International Year of Evaluation. So you prefer to write rather than to speak. So I see there is another comment or question in the chat by Vutilkova. Morning to all. I was wondering how people can get involved in the preparation of Eval Year beyond this consultation, especially in the lobby of UN missions for those based in New York, for avenue to assist Eval Partner and UNEG in this process. For this, I would like to invite Deborah to reply about the question about the UN and UNEG, and Azela, who I see is also online. I hope he has a mic to reply. He is also the Eval Partner Executive Coordinator responsible for the international relation, and I hope that he will be able to reply to that. So, Deborah, I would like to give you the floor to answer the first part of the question regarding the UN and UNEG. So, Deborah, is yours.
Thank you very much for that question. It's an excellent question, and I'm glad that there is interest in this consultation, how to support the UN resolution that we are working hard to achieve this fall. What you can do is lobby your specific missions. Right now is a critical time to be reaching to each country's mission here in the UN to ask that they support the resolution when it is tabled this fall. Right now, we have some key interest from key countries in Latin America, Asia, Africa, and other Western countries. But we really need right now for ambassadors and the representatives at each mission as they go into their committee work at the end of this month to really become champions for the resolution so that when it is in committee and tabled in October, that more and more missions understand the resolution, are champions of the resolution, and are actively supporting it so that it does receive the sufficient support to pass through debates and deliberations this fall with our goal of seeking endorsement and a resolution by the end of the session in December. So what you can do is if you have any contacts in any of the missions in the UN to directly contact them, talk to them about the evaluation strengthening, talk to them about the International Year of Evaluation next year, and inform them about this new resolution that is being considered this session by many countries and encourage that mission to participate. There is a background, one-page background document that if you are interested, UNEG can make available to you so that you can bring this background document, either sending it to your contacts in the mission or physically visiting them if you happen to be here in New York. The more exposure and discussion that is happening with mission representatives right now is really welcomed and is very timely. So if there's more information you need, I'd be happy to follow up with you and encourage the process and answer any other questions so that you can all participate in getting the support we need to get this resolution passed this fall.
Deborah, while you have the floor, I see that there is also now an additional question by Pablo Rodriguez Vilela that is very much related. So he's asking, what has been until today the formal acceptance of 2015 as International Year of Evaluation by the United Nations? So I don't know if you want to add anything in what you already said, or if you feel that you already covered that.
Sure, I'm happy to expand a little bit on that. The two aspects of that issue. Oftentimes, the UN does endorse an international year of a specific topic. That can be anywhere from small issues to big issues. The most recent have been the Year of Quinoa and the Year of Light and the Year of Environment. And we had discussed about creating a new year of evaluation. However, we are not going for a specific year of activity, rather a UN resolution that has more potential for onward activities in the future that will have an expectation of reporting back in the 2016 session. So it will be timely with the establishment of a 2016-2020 agenda, a resolution if passed, the expectation of a reporting back on progress of the implementation of 2015 evaluation activities. So we're going for a resolution on this fall on that. We are seeking in the resolution an acknowledgement and an endorsement of 2015, the International Year, and a recognition that, in fact, it has already been endorsed by a UN entity, i.e. the UN Evaluation Group, and that is viewed largely as sufficient right now for viewed as UN endorsement of 2015. Now we can engage with the partnership to strengthen and help the UN play its role to strengthen the implementation of activities for 2015. So the member states will be typically doing resolutions when they seek to highlight an activity, expect the UN to implement, and then ask for follow-up reporting back on results. And that will be where this activity will have a life into the future and not just be an activity that is completed this year and then starts to fade. Rather, this should kick off a series of activities that will take us into the next 5 to 10 years if we are successful and get the support we need. So it's a little complicated, but the process essentially is being designed so that it carries us beyond 2015 into the next decade.
Deborah, and I would like to invite Azela to answer the second part of the question, that was how people can get involved in the preparation of EVA beyond this consultation. So Azela, can you try to speak to see if your mic is working? Azela, the floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Over the phone, actually, I'm listening over the phone. Yeah, regarding Evalia, actually, national evaluation associations and regional evaluation associations of societies, they, like Marco mentioned earlier as well, in their conferences, they included Evalia as an agenda point and also declared nationally and regionally, got involved other national evaluation societies, regarding regional associations. And in some countries, national evaluation associations or societies worked with the government, media, United Nations within the country, and civil society organizations, got them involved in this process. More importantly, some of the evaluation societies, they are working towards national evaluation policy for the country with other stakeholders. So all these are in line with International Year of Evaluation. So beyond nations, beyond UN agencies headquarters, actually there are lot of things happening at country level and regional level, and these are it is happening at the moment, but they have plans to be implemented in year 2015 as well, in line with International Year of Evaluation. And what we are trying is at the moment to get more evaluation societies involved, because there are, according to IOCE database, there are 100 plus national and regional evaluation societies, associations. So in 100 plus countries. So if national evaluation societies get involved and they try to work with the government and other stakeholders, we can make a big difference using Evalia regarding establishment of or promoting environment or culture for evaluation. Thank you.
Azela, just for your information, Azela is based in Sri Lanka. That means that it's night for him today, so we really appreciate that you prefer to stay to join the webinar instead of going and sleep and going to sleep. So thanks a lot, Azela, for this. Let's move to the next question from Jana Garay. He's saying, hello, I'm based in Mexico where there is no open. No strong platform for evaluators to get together and share knowledge, experience, etc. How important do you think it is to have a VOPE at a national level to achieve the goals discussed in the presentation, particularly the question number 2? Pablo Rodriguez Vilela is online. Pablo is presenting RELAC, that is the Latin American Evaluation Network in IOC. So see if Pablo, you can, if you have anything to reply on our colleague from Mexico. Xenia, can you unmute the mic of Pablo to see if he can speak? Of yours. Pablo, can you unmute, because otherwise we will not be. So Pablo, can you try to speak?
Yes, please tell me if you are hearing me.
Yeah, we hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I just made a short answer there that in RELAC we are working in 16 countries, and although we have made many contacts with people from Mexico, for instance, Mexico is a huge country, and until now it has been impossible to build a national evaluation network, a VOPE, but we are very interested, and we know many people from Mexico who are eager to do that, so we can keep in touch and see if we can do something related with that. Next, for the Eval year, we are planning our regional conference, so it will be great to have a new VOPE from Mexico in this case, in this conference.
Thank you. I see. Yeah. Xenia.
We have two people who would like to speak online, and I would like to also tell that our official time for consultation is almost over. But we have two people, Masoud Hadeshi and Megan Kennedy Sean. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing, who would like to raise their hands.
So can you unmute the first person and invite the first person to speak? Who is the first person, sorry?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, hi, this is Masoud Areshi from UNEG in Vienna. Thanks very much for this opportunity. I'm sorry I missed the first part because I had a problem with sound and I missed most of your presentation, so I can't say much about the earlier part. But, one thing that occurs to me in relation to what we could do as an activity in addition to what's being proposed, when we look at the UN system as a whole and the direction that that in general I think we're all worried about, that what's happening in terms of security and development cooperation, and how we are generally not moving in a very positive direction. Let's put it that way. Now, I was wondering whether we can use this opportunity as evaluators to suggest that there be a kind of a re-evaluation of the systems and how things work, and to look at the impact, or if you like, the MDG era, and to have an honest look at what lessons we can learn, and perhaps make recommendations on many levels, on the development agenda, maybe on the security agenda, security and peace, and all these important things. And I think such an honest internal debate would also help with the image of the UN. I don't know what other colleagues think of this idea.
Masoud, I think Deborah, I would imagine she would like to reply to your question, because Deborah, in addition of being the UNEG chair, she's also the director of the evaluation office at OIOS, and OIOS is also working along the line that we are proposing. So, Deborah, would you like to answer Masoud?
Yes, no, I think Masoud has raised good ideas, and we certainly need to do more of that. I can say what's happening already in OIOS, the Office of Inspection and Oversight Services. We have taken on board, under our mandate, which is typically a review of the effectiveness of UN Secretariat functions, but under that general mandate, we have been focusing on the MDGs to date and how well we have incorporated evaluation concepts, functions, activities in the past M&E framework for MDGs, with an eye towards informing an enhanced approach to evaluation in the Sustainable Development Goals after 2015. So OIOS will be evaluating where we've been in the past with MDGs, what we've learned and what we can do better, what kinds of evaluation questions we should be framing for the future, and we will be making those recommendations. As you may be aware, evaluation has been quite weak in the past in the MDG approach, but with the new paradigm for the Sustainable Development Goals going forward, country ownership is a fundamental principle, much more ownership in a genuine way by countries than in the past, as well as an accountability framework that is being discussed as we speak. The issue is that evaluation has not been a central player because it hasn't been a central player in the past. As debates have been underway the past couple years, evaluation has only recently come to the table in the past few months to articulate what is evaluation, what has been missing, what needs to be better in the future, and UNEG starting to play a role in this debate. I would envision we do more of these consultations to get a wider view across the UN system and beyond. What should the evaluation type activities be in the future? What should the questions be, as Masoud has suggested some ideas, and that we do become active, vocal, widespread players in setting evaluation agenda in the post-2015 or SDG era. So I would endorse that idea and say there's a lot to be done, and we should have much more broad consultation on this throughout the next 8 weeks to set some specific activities.
Deborah, I see that there are many other questions or comments. Unfortunately, Xenia reminded us that our time is over. So as I mentioned, the idea of this live webinar was just to kick off a process. So there will be about 2 months' time to continue this discussion. Next slide. So because in the next 2 months, we will discuss both the overall challenge. Just to remind you, the overall challenge is how can the global evaluation community contribute to ensuring that evaluation will play a key role in shaping and contributing to the implementation of international goals, regional and national policies to achieve sustainable and equitable development. Next. And read in your screen, as is a little bit small. Consultation, as I said, will be for 8 weeks. So there was a question asking, will it be in parallel or in sequence? No, it will be in sequence. So we will start next Monday, the 8th of September, for 2 weeks till the 21st of September. And we will discuss the question number 1, that is about the enabling environment. And this will be led by UNEG. And you can see mainly by 2 UNEG colleagues, Mona Petou and Ellen Winke. You also have their email address over there. Then from the 22nd of September to the 5th of October, we will move to the second question, that is about the institutional capacities of OPES, and that will be facilitated by IOC about partner by Azela. 2 weeks, we will move to the third question, that is more about the individual capacities from the 6th to the 19th of October, and that will be facilitated by IDEAS, by the Vice President, by Susan Mondong, the Vice President of IDEAS. And at least the fourth question is a question that tries to see how the 3 components, the enabling environment, the institutional capacities, and the individual capacities, can mutually reinforce each other, and how that very diverse multi-stakeholders work in partnership based on their own value added and comparative advantage. That will be from the 20th of October to the 2nd of November, facilitated by EVAL Partner. Next slide. Global consultation will be in the LinkedIn group, the EVAL Partner LinkedIn group. So if you are not registered to LinkedIn, please do now. As you know, LinkedIn is the biggest social network for professionals. It's good also for you to be there. We use the EVAL Partner LinkedIn group because we already have about 900 people registered, and it's also very easy to join. Additional information on the global consultation, on how to a LinkedIn group in EVAL Partner, etc. This is the EVAL Partner website. In principle, you have the hyperlink email that was sent out with the invitation to this webinar today, so it should be pretty easy for you to just have to type the link. If you find the email that was sent out for this webinar, you just have to Google EVAL Partners and you will find it. And as or you can contact Azela. So I would like to say is that through this global consultation, you have the power to frame the global evolution agenda for an equitable development. So it's really a big opportunity for all of us to contribute our perspective, our ideas, our experience, to make sure that the future priorities for the global evolution agenda for the next 4 years, from 2016 to 2020, will be truly inclusive and participatory. So with this, really, thanks a lot to all of you who joined us today. Thanks a lot to Deborah Rugg, Chair of UNEG, and Robert Van Berger, President of IDEAS, for being together, and also for co-facilitating the online consultation. And we are really looking forward to your ideas in the next 8 weeks. So thanks a lot, everybody, and have a nice day.